Nancy Vuka Mthwakazi, a matter that seems to be a sore thumb and nail-biting situation for many people. Bayabuza, abantu bathi Mthwakazi yini? What is Mthwakazi? And for what? Why? These people should be part of Zimbabwe, and now all of a sudden they are making noise. The city wanna, they are not part of Zimbabwe, and they want to be independent, to run their own country, their own government, and so forth. So there is people that are genuinely concerned in Vuka Mthwakazi because it is their identity, it is our identity, and we just want to be known that we were never wiped out as the world thought that we were. We were never killed off. We are still alive, and Cecil Mthwakazi, and we are rising up, and we are rising up big time. I'm a perpetrators of these attempts of trying to purge our nation are still going to suffer. Their time is coming. It's just a question of days and maybe months and maybe years. We don't know, but their time is coming. Right now, we have this big question that we need to tell, that we need to, to answer. The question is, who are we? Because as a nation, for many years, we have been undergoing brutalities. We have been experiencing, I shouldn't say undergoing, it was unwillingly, we have been experiencing brutalities, atrocities perpetrated against us by forces, different forces from different directions of this world. And we have been victims. We are a nation that has, because of these atrocities, abuses that have been perpetrated against us, we have become a traumatized nation that is so afraid constantly, that is in constant paranoia, that it has been difficult for us to get to the stage that we are in today, where we are saying, Vuka Mthwakazi, Cecil Vuka manje. And we are not going back, Agula reverse gear. The question of Mthwakazi today is, who is this? From where and why? Kulabanye abantu who think ukuthi Mthwakazi is probably some identity that has just been created as a fabrication to try and come up with this fake nation that never existed. People need to understand, or to be made to understand, Mthwakazi is a very serious nation that has existed in pre-colonial times, in pre-colonial days, and the colonialists came and decided that because of the huge threat that this nation was, that they would band together and bring their well-resourced sources to destroy this nation called Mthwakazi. In fact, Mthwakazi was known as Mthwakazi before it was known as Matabeleland. And this is a fact that many people seem to overlook, because they think Matabeleland Mthwakazi is something that is just being fabricated today. Well, surprise, surprise, Mthwakazi is Matabeleland before it became Matabeleland. Sizwe samandebele, sizwe sabatwa. So when Cecil John Rhodes, and I'll call him a terrorist because that's what he was and that's what he remains to me. So it's unfortunate for those kind of people, Slama institutions abizwa ngabo as if they are godly figures, as if they are godly figures of this world, yet I'm a terrorist. Cecil John Rhodes is a pioneer of the worst brutalities, probably the equivalent of Hitler himself. If anybody wants to stand before me and Hitler committed more brutalities than what Cecil John Rhodes did to the nation of Mthwakazi, that person can come and stand in front of me and tell me how they justify that. You've got a man that came to Africa and found people living there, in their comfort, in their land, and he connived and concocted and planned the purging of this nation, and successfully did so brutally. And yet today his genocide is celebrated by universities that exist in his name, by graveyards that victims have to look at every day, as if they are places of comfort. Yet they are places that trigger trauma, places that trigger hurt. Isizwe sika Mthwakazi, when we are speaking of a nation of Mthwakazi, we are speaking of geographic regions that consist of Matabeleland and Midlands. AmaNdebele sikhuluma ngezizwe zabantu eziningi. We're talking of many nations of the Ndebele. Many different tribes of the Ndebele nation, and we speak different languages. Kulabo siVenda, kulabo siKhalanga, kulabo siTonga, and so forth. All these people are people that the system of Zimbabwe has never recognized as being part of Zimbabwe. Tell me that I am wrong, and prove to me that I am wrong. And how you're going to prove to me that I am wrong is by going to Plumtree border post and telling me that that border post is filled by Kalanga-speaking officers. Go to the passport office Kobulawayo and tell me that that office is filled with Ndebele-speaking officers. Go to Beitbridge border post and tell me that border post consists of a majority of Venda-speaking officers. Go to Harare passport department and tell me that that office has even a third of its officers being from anywhere in Midlands or Matabeleland. Go to Mutare and tell me that there is any teacher that is not Shona who is teaching their children is Shona. Go to the University of Zimbabwe